Hello everybody. Welcome. I'm Kat and I am here with Kat's Cosmic Compass. This is a fucking beautiful day. I don't know if it gets much beautifuler than that. I'm super blessed to be able to have this in my backyard. Happy Taurus season to all my Tauruses out there. I am just unsure of itself there. So it's just a lot going on. Our emotional energies as a whole might be feeling a little out of place or just unsure, and it'll pass. It's only there for 3 days. I think one more day it'll be in Capricorn, and then it'll start feeling a little better with that. It's a time for some release. Capricorn brings release, and so this time of the year, every year when the moon is in Capricorn, it's an emotional release for any kind of karmatic bullshit that we're holding on to. And this release is a little different because Pluto is a planet of like truth and change and permanent change, and where it's with Saturn in the sign of Capricorn currently, it is bringing on these energies of change and surrender. So Pluto just stationed to go retrograde on Wednesday, and since it's such a slow moving planet, as it stations and stops, it stopped for like a day and a half or something. I don't know for sure, but it stopped for a long time. It's not like the other planets that are faster moving. And Saturn is slower moving as well. So Saturn starts to station retrograde today, and tomorrow it really gets into it. So I recommend being very good and responsible this weekend. Like, no drinking and driving, just taking care of business, making sure that you're being responsible, because Saturn's up there in Capricorn ready to I'm going to show you it's time to grow up. And if you're not going to do it on your own and be responsible, then what can I do for you here? Well, let's give you a DUI so that you are forced into the situation. And that's truly what Saturn does when it teaches hard lessons. So where it's going retrograde and it's slowing down and the energies are like stopping, we have Jupiter is retrograded in Sagittarius, which is okay. It's not a horrible place for it to be, or a horrible position for it to be going. So it's over in Sagittarius doing its thing, and then Pluto is starting, and then Saturn is retrograding as well. And we've had all this forward moving energy with the exception of the Mars retrograde that just happened. So to have two of the bigger planets join a third is gonna be heavy. Like, we're gonna feel that. So I do feel that it's super important for us right now to keep a level head and just maybe not give in to our vices as much, and there's a big urgency not to numb ourselves of the bullshit, because numbing it doesn't really make it go away. We don't really confront it, and then what happens, you just keep doing that over and over again, and then next thing you know, 5 years of your life pass by or more. So I do feel that it's important not to numb out and to just feel the feelings and be with yourself and make sure that you really are recognizing that how you feel and why. And if you're feeling a certain type of way, whether that be when you're with somebody else or when somebody does something, you need to sit and ask yourself, why is this other person have a control over my feeling and my emotion? And what is it about what they're doing that's bothering me, and why? And if you really do that, you learn a lot about yourself. And a lot of times it's because you are doing that same thing to somebody else in another relationship in your life, and you're feeling a conflict in that because you're being a fucking hypocrite. And you don't realize it because you're just in the moment of thisness, not comparing it to all this other stuff going on. So it's important to look at the relationships in our lives to keep bettering ourselves and becoming better people. So yeah, be responsible this weekend. It is super important. I just have a weird feeling like, I don't know, when the shit hits the fan, it always hits the fan pretty hard. And I just feel if you have things going on and your life's been a little bit crazy and you've been living on the edge and pushing that envelope, don't do it this weekend. get yourself a couple of movies that you need to catch up on, go to the park, like have a barbecue. Don't get wild, don't do too much, because it is not going to be worth the consequences, because Pluto brings truth and consequence, and even if it's something you don't want to see truth in within yourself and you're like lying to yourself about it, it's gonna be forced for you to face it. And Saturn brings consequence. Like, this is, you reap what you sow. You put in this work and you're gonna get these benefits. You dick off, you're gonna get this. Like, you don't study for the test, you're not gonna pass the exam. Okay, so we have very intense energy with all of that going on. We have Mars, which is in Gemini currently. Mars is the god of war. Mars is our like communication. It's Mars is a little on the intense side. It's how we deal with people, I guess. In Gemini, it's fast moving. Like, Mars wants all the information. It wants all the information now. It wants to know what's going on. I need to know what's the deal. And it has an aspect, so it's aligned up with Neptune over in Pisces, which is all dreamy and, you know, doing their own thing, very much in the dream realm. So the way that they communicate, it's almost like Mars is drunk. So Mars is like, I want to know what's going on, and blah, 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 and trying to find out all the information, but it's not really paying attention because it's just too much, because it's like getting blinded or, you know, drunked out by the energies of Neptune. So just don't be quick to act on certain types of information that you might receive. Like, take a second to process it. Get all your facts straight before you go confront people. Don't just be popping off at people, because a lot of times you don't have all the information and you can end up looking like a fool. We don't want that. Okay. So really fast, because this is just super pretty. I just have to show everybody the colors. Come on. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we have Venus and Chiron are both in Taurus as well, and they bring a little bit of insecurity over there. Questioning, questioning confidence, just feeling a little bit lost. Having Venus being next to Chiron, it's questioning itself, because Venus is about our relationship with ourselves, material possessions, other people, and Chiron is the wounded healer. So he's like bringing up feelings of just uncertainty and insecurity, because that's what he does best, to make you feel a certain type of way. So you have to confront that and then grow from it. So today is Friday. We had the moon square the sun, so that could be a very uncomfortable feeling energy. The sun and Uranus brings a feeling of not belonging. Uranus is unpredictable and kind of wild, and the sun is our ego, and it's strong and steadfast and has this like a thought process of a knowingness of what it's going to do and what it wants. And when those energies aren't driving well, it can just make you just feel uncomfortable. But the moon is quick moving, which is a good thing. So it is going to be quickly moving out of there, and we shouldn't be feeling that way much longer. The sun, let's see. Oh, so the moon's going to come conjunct and line up here with Saturn. And this is going to be while Saturn is completely stopped. So as it is stationed, ready to retrograde, okay. So much prettier. So as it's stationed to retrograde, what to say? Blah, blah, blah. So the moon just squared off with the sun, which can be a little uncomfortable feeling, but it moves quickly. So now the moon is moving around, and it's going to come and line up with Saturn first, as Saturn is completely stopped, ready to go retrograde. And this might bring a little bit of light to situations where they've been difficult. Things that you need to not take with you moving forward in this new energetic body that we have. It's time to really let the shit go. Quit living the same story and over again. Like, I understand that we have struggles and they're here to shape us and the experiences that we go through to build us to be the people that we are. Because I know if I didn't go through all the bullshit I've been through, I wouldn't be the same me that I am today. So we have to do that. Like, our person chooses and like writes a blueprint before we come here of this is experiences that I'm gonna need to make it, to like wake up and to become the best version of myself. But they're there for that only. Like, you don't need to keep living the experience. A lot of times, just in general, people are walking around in their body in a state of stress and it's like panic, flight or fight energies. Living in the past or reliving over and over again things that have happened, and it stresses you out because your brain doesn't know the difference between thinking about a shitty situation that happened or actually having it happen right now. So when you're talking about it and telling everybody the same stuff over and over again about your experiences and you're just reliving them, your body is literally reliving it. And it's hard because I think people do glorify that, but this victimhood that is going, like, it's like an epidemic for real. And people want to talk about the struggle, which is great because it just shows, okay, talk about the struggle because now I know that you struggled, you got here. But talk about being here and how good it feels to be here and all the rad shit that happens when you're here. But I think what really does happen is we are all vibration, right? Everything's vibration. So when you're vibrating at the bullshit level and talking about that and living that over and over again, and that's what you're becoming vibrationally, that's what you're getting. So it's hard, I think, to ninja fight that off and talk about the vibrations of the good shit and keep getting it. But I don't know. It's really important, I feel, that as a whole, we consciously make an effort to quit living you can write your fucking own story, right? You tell people what people know about you and what you want to be known for and remembered. The moon is moving quick. By Saturday, we have a Saturn, which is the ruler of Capricorn, over structure, the physical world, laws, which is why I was saying don't be trying to push the envelope and breaking any laws because it's not the time to get caught and get into trouble. Responsibilities, discipline, obligation, ambition, patience, that's all Capricorn and Saturn. No thanks. I am not trying to deal with that. I don't even think I'm going to leave the house. Sunday's going to be a day of just it's going to feel a little off. It's kind of an internal processing time, I think would be best. Just hanging out and being with yourself. Journaling would be good. It's a processing of patterns and recognizing shit that's going on around you and how you keep getting to the same spot, right? So you keep ending up like, I'm always broke. You're living the same thing over and over and over again because you're doing the same shit over and over and over again. So recognizing those patterns and saying, oh damn, how am I expecting to get a different result when I keep doing this? Knowing the doingness of it is half the battle. Like, you have to be able to recognize what you need to fix. Monday, Saturn will be retrograded in Capricorn, and it's going to retrograde really next to Pluto. They're all within 3 degrees of each other, Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node. And so they all are like, it's like this big vortex of energy, like they're all working off of each other while they're moving. Now,